All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Bodybuilding News Network. As always, I am your host, Saunch, and let's go ahead and talk about the Legion Sports Festival. And this is going to be one of the bigger shows that we're going to have our eyes on in this 2022 competitive calendar. Obviously, just finishing up after the Olympia, we had the Yamamoto Pro Cup, or Cup Pro, out of Italy. And now we have this show. We have a very deep lineup for you today. And we're going to go ahead and highlight 10 athletes in this episode. And this will be the part one. We'll finish up the scorecard in part two. But let's go ahead and start off with the first competitor that I want to highlight here. And that's going to be Stanimal. So Stanimal is what he goes by on Instagram, but Stan de Langueur is his surname, is his full name. And the last time that we saw him from my records is the 2019 Yamamoto Pro Cup, or Cup Pro, out of Italy. Now, I believe he placed around 9th at that show. And guys, when you look at this physique, it's very impressive, very streamlined. And that's because it came from Classic Physique. He was actually a Classic Physique competitor. Back in 2017, I remember him competing. And then he was at the Olympia for 1 year. So he has the physique. He has the structure. 2019, it looked like he needed to fill it out just a little bit more. He looked just a tad bit shallow, especially in the back, lower trap insertion areas. He could have used a little bit more muscle. I think he's had enough time to do so. So it definitely will be something to look out for coming into this show. You know, is he going to place in this top 10? It's a very heavy lineup. Is he going to place in the top 6? I don't know. Let me know down below. Next on the scorecard, Tonio Burton. So this is actually a surprise. He's actually the second on the scorecard, so it actually lines up perfectly. But Tonio Burton, 212 Olympian, reigning 212 Indy Pro champ, making his splash in the open. This is something I like to see, guys. It's something I like to see. 212 is known for their size, the conditioning, their proportions for how tall they are. I love the 212. It's my favorite division, and I'm really excited for Tonio. He's actually been on the show. He's actually been, we had an interview with him on this podcast, so consider checking that out in the channel. But really, guys, very excited to see how the mutant, the OG mutant, before Nick Walker became the mutant, very excited to see how he does this year. I believe he placed 11th at the Olympia, so, you know, very excited to see how he does this year. But let me know how you guys feel about the 212 guys coming into the show. Another one, as we're talking about Sean Clarita, perfectly lines up with how my list is for today. Sean Clarita, 2020 212 Mr. Olympia champ. Very exciting to hear that he's going to be competing in the open class this year. Now, I was wondering if this was going to be a publicity stunt, but honestly, he has the structure, he has the conditioning. It's really going to come down to what the judges are looking for, because you're going to have a lot of tall guys here. You're going to have a Sergio Oliva, you're going to have Cedric. I believe Patrick Moore is taller, and even Regan Grimes is somewhat tall for open. It's going to be very interesting to see what the judges are going to look for. Are they going to reward the conditioning? It doesn't seem that way. The Olympia, they didn't score that way, but the Legion Sports Festival is not the Olympia. It is a different criteria, different judging for the most part. So really, I think there's a chance for Sean Clarita to really shock this show, shock this lineup, and as some of you have already said in my comments on Instagram, embarrass some people. So look forward to that. Let me know how Sean Clarita, along with Tonio Burton, are going to do 212 coming into open for this show. Another competitor that we're very, very excited to see, hopefully an improved package from his 6th place finish at the 2021 Arnold Classic, is going to be Sergio Oliva Jr. Now, guys, I haven't been shy from the criticism. I thought that his conditioning was off. He has mentioned that himself. But, guys, the structure, the physique, the flow, the posing, just one of my favorite physiques. if we're being honest, I've had my criticisms of him on my personal channel, but since starting the Bodybuilding News Network, really the sky's the limit for this guy. I've only looked at him in a positive light. As long as you don't look at some of the stuff he types in his posts, he has a personality. He's a big personality. He's not afraid of saying what he believes and what he thinks. But Sergio Oliva is coming into the show. Honestly, expect him to battle in that top 3, at least the first call out coming out of prejudging. I couldn't see him falling outside of the top 5, top 6. Another competitor that we're really hoping to see some improvements. He recently partnered up with Milos Sarcev, I think is how you pronounce it. Old school guy, was really famous for running that European tour, those European Grand Prix shows, just back after back, show after show after show. One of those guys, really not shy from pushing the super supplements. So it's going to be interesting. If you remember Regan Grimes, he actually left the Oxygen gym for that exact same reason. So it's interesting for him to turn a familiar page in his book, in his autobiography, and go back to coaches that are a little bit more hardcore on the super supplement side. But really, guys, you look at what he looked like at the 2021 Mr. Olympia. I know Mark over at Mark's Max Muscle has done some side-by-side comparisons of him from 2020 to 2021. I definitely recommend you check out that video along with others. Great channel. But Regan here, I'm not sure, guys. It's really going to be tough to place him. He's usually in that battle at any tier 1 or tier 2 show. He's usually in that first call out. I don't know if he's going to make that first call out at this show because we just have such a deep lineup, but I would not be surprised if he places in the top 6 here. But let me know how you guys are feeling about Regan Grimes. Patrick Moore, another competitor fresh off of the Olympia, in that third call out. And, if you watched my Olympia coverage, I talked about his physique, as you can see here on the screen. It doesn't flow well with the rest of the competitors. He doesn't compare well. His structure is completely different. He has very dominant, longer legs, but they're not overly developed. They're not crazy big, but everything else flows really well. And then he has that vacuum. It's just another wrench in that judging criteria that really confuses people because it looks really, really nice, but it's very, very different from the other competitors. So sometimes he gets placed favorably, winning the Cali Pro, qualifying for the Olympia, things like that. And then other times he doesn't get placed well, like at the Olympia. But that's against, the best of the best. So expect a first call out for Patrick Moore. Again, it's really hard to tell, but he's historically always been a first call out competitor. I expect to see him in that first call out. Max Charles, another competitor on the scorecard. Guys, again, another first call-out competitor. I'm telling you, it's a very heavy lineup. Max Charles, known for his conditioning, known for his structure, known for his improvement in his leg development this year. Really shocking a lot of people coming into, Chicago, New York, Texas, Arnold Classic. I mean, he did so many shows this year. He got a buku amount of points to qualify. And guys, if I see him outside this first call out, I'm really going to be shocked. But like I've said already, very stacked lineup. Martin Fitzwater, pro debut coming out of that Texas Pro, placing first call out. I think he was 6th. Very, very happy with that. I'm sure he was. Really cool guy. Seems like he's down to earth from his Instagram. Very beautiful structure. Reminds me of a 212 guy, actually. Reminds me of Guy Cisternino a little bit with the structure, but more wide, more mainstream or streamlined midsection, and better quads as well. So guys, I think he's going to be really happy if he cracks in that first call out. I'm expecting him around 7th, maybe 8th. Really hard to tell. I don't think the Texas Pro had as deep of lineup as this show, but I think Martin would be very happy with a top 6 placing here. As we start rounding off this list, one of my personal favorites, Joe Joe Seaman, just coming off of a rather disappointing placement at the Arnold UK. I'm sure he thought that his placement wasn't what he wanted. I thought he was first call out physique, hands down. He was just one of the biggest guys on stage. Very, very impressive from the back, and has a midsection that's very controlled with that vacuum. So, I was kind of surprised with his placing. I would like to see him in this top 6, but I just don't know if the judges are going to give him that look. He's just so lights out from the back, and I think that the judges don't put as much weight in the back as they used to. There used to be a phrase back in the day when I was coming into bodybuilding that backs won shows, and if that was true, I think Joe Seaman would be walking away with this show. But as history has told us, he's not getting the look from the judges. I hope he does at this show, but probably expect to see him around that 7th through 9th place. But I'd really like to see him stand up against some of these guys in that first call out. And last guy, and probably one of the most excited people, Sergeant First Class of the U.S. Army, Cedric McMillan. He wasn't able to compete much at all in the 2021 competitive calendar, or at all. He did the Arnold Classic. He's known for doing the Arnold Classic. He was not able to do, I've said the Arnold Classic so many times in a row, he was not able to do the Arnold Classic. But this year, he's able to do the Legion Sports Festival, fresh off of a new sponsorship title with, it was like Black Skull or something, really strange sponsorship. The sponsorship didn't really match his personality, so I was very confused and surprised with that announcement. I thought Redcon was the perfect fit for a veteran, active duty military in the Army as well. So, anywho, Cedric McMillan probably going to be in that top 3. If he doesn't land that top 3, I would be shocked. But as history has told us, he usually misses the mark if it's a show not the Arnold Classic. He's like a Kai Green. Kai Green always showed up phenomenal for Arnold Classics, and sometimes, as history has told us, he never brought enough to beat out Phil Heath in the Mr. Olympia. So I feel like Cedric McMillan, any show but the Arnold, is his version of a Kai Green at the Olympia. But let me know, guys. Let me know down below how you're feeling about this show. I'm very excited. Look forward to more videos leading up to this weekend. I have next week off, so we'll be able to do lots of recap videos. But like always, guys, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for considering this channel as your premium news outlet of bodybuilding news. Appreciate you stopping in and checking out the channel. Consider subscribing for more content just like this. And let me know what you want for the 1 million views giveaway. That's it, guys. I'm your host, Saunch. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one.